WXII 12 News at 5 starts right now.
Devastation in Japan. An earthquake rocks the country overnight, killing at least 3 people and injuring dozens more. We'll have a look at the damage left behind.
Plus, the country remains outraged over the Trump administration's policy of separating immigrant children from their families at the southern border. What the First Lady is saying about the policy now. And
about 10 shots went off, like pow, 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 pow. And everybody started running.
An art festival turns into chaos when a gunman opens fire on the crowd. What police in New Jersey believe led up to that shooting. And good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Van Scoy.
Welcome back, Kim.
Thank you.
So glad to have you back with us.
Thank you.
I'm Brianna Connor. Now we traded Devontae's off.
Yeah,
but we've got you back, and so we're going to say welcome and good morning to our friends in Mount Airy. Look at that, quiet streets, but it's going to shape up to be a really hot day again.
Yeah, if you want to go for a walk outside today, you might want to do it now.
Same thing. If we all had that much energy, right, we would be out the door and enjoying a quick morning walk. Well, we've got lots of heat for you coming up today. We've got that ridge of high pressure aloft, and this is going to help to scoot those temperatures way into the 90s. We're talking mid and upper 90s. This is going to make you feel like the lower 100s. So indeed, plenty of sunshine, also cooking that ozone out there. So air quality alerts, we're going to continue for you. We don't see much of a change in this pattern until we hit the weekend. Maybe a little bit of reprieve by Saturday as we have an upper low that's going to try and dip southward. This could change our temperature patterns aloft and encourage maybe a little less than 90-degree temperatures here at the surface. You're at 67 in Galax, so we have 65 in Hillsville. You're at 76 in Burlington as well as Greensboro. So enjoying a nice warm, muggy morning. The 12-hour forecast shows a better rain chance for folks up in the mountains with a 20% possibility of 86 degrees. But some of our forecast models are hinting that we might see an isolated thunderstorm for folks in the Triad as well as the foothills. So we'll keep that at 20% today, 93 for you in the foothills. And again, winds out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We've got you at 20% chance for storms in the Triad by late today with 95 and just a light westerly breeze. We'll have much more for you coming up.
Well, this morning we have new details out of western Japan, where a 6.1 magnitude earthquake killed at least 3 people overnight. More than 90 people are hurt, and right now you're looking at video showing the moment that earthquake shook an office building. A 9-year-old girl and 2 men in their 80s are dead. The earthquake set off building fires and cracked roads and water pipes. Now to our Washington newsroom. This morning, outrage continues to grow over the separation of families who cross the southern border into the United States.
Nicole Killian is live in Washington, where the First Lady is now speaking out. Nicole?
Yeah, that's right, Kim and Brianna, and she's not the only one. We're also hearing from another former First Lady as well. But let's start off with Melania Trump's statement from a spokesperson, which read, in part, Mrs. Trump hates to see children separated from their families. Former First Lady Laura Bush also said in a Washington Post op-ed, it breaks my heart. The Homeland Security Secretary disputed the policy on Twitter, while Democrats visiting detention facilities at the border called on the president to act.
They call it zero tolerance, but a better name for it is zero humanity, and there's zero logic to this policy.
Well, the president has said, in fact, just last week, that he hates children being taken away, and he blames Democrats as saying that they can fix this by working with Republicans on new legislation. Back to you.
Well, Nicole, before you go, let's talk about the blame game. It seems like the fault for this policy changes depending on who you're talking to. So what are the facts? How did this policy come about?
Yeah, that's right. Well, contrary to what the president says, at least according to PolitiFact, this is not party specific, nor is there some kind of law out there that mandates a family separation. But it has been a pretty long-standing policy that if an adult is charged with a crime, then their child would not go to jail. What's different here is that in the past, under previous administrations, there haven't really been many prosecutions, so therefore no need to separate these families. But now, with the Trump administration having this zero tolerance policy it announced last month, they are in fact jailing a lot more folks, and that's why we're seeing this spike in separations. Back to you.
All right, Nicole, thank you for breaking that down for us live from Washington this morning. Back here at home, the search for a missing boater in Wilkes County has been called off. Crews spent the weekend looking for 25-year-old Damian Mays. Unfortunately, they were not able to find him. The NC Wildlife Resources Commission says 2 people were on a canoe when it flipped over Friday afternoon. It was entering the Roaring River, which feeds into the Yadkin River. After the boat flipped, only one of the boaters made it to shore. Neither person was wearing a life jacket.
Well, this morning we are learning the names of 2 people who were killed in Greensboro on Saturday night. Caitlin Heath and Eric Johnson were found dead in a car on Farmington Drive. Both victims were 21 years old and been shot. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $2,000 for information leading to an arrest in this investigation. And also in Greensboro, a 52-year-old man is recovering after being shot Saturday night. It happened on Marsh Street off of Freeman Mill Road just before 7:30. Police say the man was shot once and is expected to be okay.
Right now, authorities are trying to figure out what caused a motorcyclist to rear off the road and crash. Police say Gaston Underwood was riding his Harley on Burlington Road when he lost control. He ran off the road, crashed, and was thrown off his bike. Underwood had to go to the hospital where he was later died. The police department's crash reconstruction unit is investigating. And in Davidson County, 1 person is dead. 8 other people are hurt after a crash last night. It happened around 5:30 on Interstate 85 South near Cotton Grove Road. We don't know what caused the crash just yet.
Elon University is facing a lawsuit this morning. A former student is suing the university, alleging that he was treated unfairly after getting into a fight with the son of a donor. According to the Burlington Times-News, Samuel Shaw filed the lawsuit in Alamance County. Shaw says that the donor's son, Spencer Shar, got a lighter suspension than he did after a fight. Shar's parents donated $12 million to the university in 2004. Shaw is asking for $25,000 in damages. Officials from the university say they will fight this lawsuit in court. Well, next on WXII 12 News, the manhunt continues for 2 inmates in Illinois. The object they used to break through a brick wall and escape.
And a car chase involving Border Patrol agents in Texas led to this deadly crash. We're going to tell you why law enforcement officers say they're familiar with the driver. It's 5:07. You're watching WXII 12 News.
Good morning. You're waking up to those mid-70s and also dew points that continue to warm into the 70s, which means we've got more moisture out there. So what we're looking for is uncomfortable weather for you today. You might even call it muggy or miserable when we get to 103 in Reidsville. 100 for feels like temperatures in Asheboro today. Upper 90s to lower 100s continues through Tuesday and Wednesday. The only hope is that we may see some thunderstorm activity and cloud cover help to improve our forecast as we head through middle of the week. Until then, we've got those hot steamy conditions. 95 today for you in the Triad from Winston-Salem, Greensboro through Mount Zion, out through Asheboro and up through Burlington. 93 in the foothills, so East Bend out through Mount Airy, and as we head up through Yadkinville and Wilkesboro with 86 in Boone and Sparta. We're going to have much more for you, talking about those isolated storm possibilities for you late this afternoon.
And right now we have a traffic alert for drivers in Greensboro. The eastbound exit ramp from I-40 to Gallimore Dairy Road is going to open up around 6 o'clock this morning. Crews spent the weekend repaving that road. Remember, you can get traffic updates this morning on our Twitter account at WXII and on our mobile app under the traffic section. It's 5:11 this Monday morning. You're waking up with the Triad's #1 news.
Well, good Monday morning to you. We are muggy. We've got this ridge of high pressure aloft. So this is one of the reasons that we are going to be experiencing such hot weather here at the surface. We've got those temperatures in the 90s. You have higher moisture values. And when it comes to dew points, those are going to be coming into the low 70s. So you feel uncomfortable when it comes to the humidity, and you're going to feel more like the lower 100s. We eventually see that pattern hopefully shift, or at least start to break down as we go into Saturday. We're going to drop temperatures back into the upper 80s then. I know it doesn't seem like much of a relief, but at least we do see those storm chances improving through middle of the week as that low approaches aloft. See temperatures right now, 65 degrees at Sparta, 68 in Jefferson. A little bit of patchy fog possible. Walking out the door to 73 in High Point with 68 in Reidsville, and we're at 76 in Burlington right now. Here's a look at your 12-hour forecast. I've added just a slight chance of an isolated storm as we head into the afternoon for the Triad with 95 degrees. So from High Point through Burlington up through Yanceyville, there's a slight chance you could see 1 or 2 storms, even a sprinkle. We try to get a storm going even on Saturday. just a couple of rain clouds overhead and just didn't do much. But any of these storms will be slow movers because we have very light and variable winds to westerly movement at about 5. That's not very fast, so we could see some soaking rains where you do see those thunderstorms form. Rain chances today only at 20% in the foothills with highs at 93. Slightly better chance of a storm or two up in the mountains, and you've got 86 degrees there. So steamy conditions are on tap for all, whether you're in the mountains or the Triad, even at the beaches. Pretty uncomfortable weather for us. You can see the water vapor imagery showing us where we have the best moisture, where we've seen some of those storms. Also monitoring down in the Gulf of Mexico, a little area of low pressure that we've been looking to see if it could become tropical. Low chance at this point, but we'll keep our eye on it. Temperatures at 95 in the mountains today, or I should say on your Monday in the Triad, and in the mountains 86, 96 in Tuesday. High heat continues through Wednesday with scattered storm chances.
Right now at 5:16, the search continues for 2 inmates who used a pipe to break out of a jail in Illinois. A 3rd inmate who was with them has already been caught. Authorities say the 3 broke out of the White County Jail early Saturday morning. They used a pipe to break through a brick wall. Johnny Tipton, Zachary Schock are still on the run. Justin Bray was caught in an oil filled tank. Authorities say the inmates should be considered dangerous.
Now on WXII 12, 5 undocumented immigrants are dead and 12 are hurt after a crash and chase involving Border Patrol agents in Texas. Authorities say that the driver is a U.S. citizen known to law enforcement. That crash happened in Big Wells yesterday afternoon. Police say 14 people were inside the SUV at the time. 12 were thrown from the vehicle when that SUV crashed and rolled over.
The driver of this vehicle, we have handled him before. We dealt with him last week. Obviously, he wasn't smuggling any people at that time. We think he was either here to pick up some or scouting.
The injured immigrants were taken to the hospital for treatment.
2 people are recovering right now after a series of carjackings ended with the shooting at a Walmart near Seattle. Police in Tumwater say a bystander shot and killed the suspect yesterday evening. They're still trying to figure out a motive. A helicopter flew 1 victim to a hospital. The other is expected to be okay.
A chaotic and frightening scene at an arts festival in New Jersey. A gunfight sent people running for cover, and 1 person is dead. Blake McCoy joins us now with the latest developments.
A gunfight in Trenton, New Jersey, sending bullets flying and people running.
It was like pow, 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 pow. And there was 2 or 3 people that went down right 20 feet from me.
Anybody hit? Anybody hit over here?
Chaos in the moments after as the panicked crowd, some injured, poured into the street. The violence shattering a 24-hour Art All Night festival meant to bring the community together. This photo taken hours before. 17 people were shot, including Irvin Higginbotham, hit 4 times in the leg.
The kids out here, these guns and stuff, it's no good. Put the guns up, go about your life, get an education.
Police have recovered multiple guns and believe it was a gang-related dispute. 1 suspected shooter is dead, 2 others hospitalized. This is a community that knows violence all too well.
To me, it's like a normal thing. It's like, is it ever going to end? I don't know.
The violence, you say, has become normal here?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Shouldn't have to be that way.
Trenton's mayor pleading for peace, not just here, but across the country.
All shootings, whether large or small, are a crisis. This isn't just a random act of violence. This is a public health issue.
Next on WXII 12 News, the growing trend among senior citizens in this country. The company they're turning to make extra money and make a few new friends. It's 5:19. You're watching WXII 12 News.
Your WXII 12 forecast is always available on the free WXII 12 app. Stay connected with meteorologist Michelle Kennedy on her Facebook page.
Well, good Monday morning to you. It is muggy out there. I probably don't need to tell you that. We've already been setting up for these hot, steamy days already, and we've got those temperatures that are in the lower 100s for feels like conditions. Take a look. 75 degrees in Greensboro, 67 in Reedsville, and we're looking at temperatures at 70 degrees in Danville, 71 in Burlington. We've got 71 also in Greensboro, as we mentioned, with those dew points, so feeling super uncomfortable. You've got those showers and those thunderstorms kind of rolling around that ridge of high pressure. Thunderstorm activity just to the north here as we go up through Chicago, the Great Lakes may get a little relief, but they've got heat advisories as well as heat warnings, excessive heat warnings. Heat is actually the #1 weather killer out there, above any of the other severe thunderstorm activities that we've talked about before. So air quality concerns until 9 o'clock tonight. We are certainly looking at that concern for ozone. When we talk about the pollutants out there mixing with the sunshine, everything cooks in these hot conditions with the 90s. So unfortunately, poor air quality will continue for us as we go through the day today. This afternoon, 95 degrees for feels like temperatures in the 100s, 93 in the foothills, and we've got you at 86, a rain chance of 20%. Overnight, down into those 70s and 67 for folks in the mountains. Here's your pop-up thunderstorm possibility. Comes into play as we go into the late afternoon hours, 2 to 3 o'clock. Could see a shower or two trying to roll through the northern Piedmont from Reedsville out through Walnut Cove and Mayodan. We'll be looking for those temps, though, to finally back off as we head into the evening hours after the sun sets. But it's not going to be until 9 o'clock that we may even see the 80s, I should say. 90s for you again on your Tuesday. Storm chances holding at 20%. And it looks better coverage for us as we go into Wednesday and Thursday as storms really start to brew. And this pattern hopefully will begin to give us a little relief each afternoon after those hot, steamy conditions. Here's your 7-day forecast. You've got 95 degrees on your Monday, 96 Tuesday. Alert forecast for you for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with impacts from storms and the high heat.
Now to a growing trend among senior citizens in the U.S.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're finding a way to use their homes to make extra money and make some new friends along the way. Jolene Kent explains.
Empty nester Carolyn Winter isn't your typical entrepreneur. After retiring from her fashion industry job, she was looking for a new way to make ends meet.
Why did you decide to start hosting people with Airbnb?
Things were not working out financially, and it was a matter of choosing whether I wanted to stay in my home or leave.
Carolyn is part of a major economic boom for the 60-plus set. Airbnb says that senior citizens are the fastest growing and highest rated host demographic, with over 200,000 seniors actively welcoming guests, taking advantage of the burgeoning silver economy. Since listing her 2 spare bedrooms, she's had more than 300 guests over 2 years, bringing in about $28,000.
And how have the guests been?
The guests have been great. I've had people from every nationality, every race, every continent.
Including a professional flame dancer from Hawaii who performed for her family. Carolyn is proud of her 5-star rating.
I treat the guests how I would want to be treated.
And the extra income has allowed her to open more properties to host. But experts say the broader trend is also linked with seniors' desire to stay active in retirement.
The main driver we find are behavioral changes that relate to the desire for independence, the desire for activity.
Carolyn carefully vets guests before they come into her home, but aging specialists suggest added security with in-home cameras and alarm systems.
I didn't think I would enjoy it so much. It's been very interesting meeting so many interesting people.
Making her empty nest full again. Jolene Kent, NBC News, Piermont, New York.
Well, next on WXII 12, you're probably busy planning your summer vacation, maybe looking for some deals. We got a few tips on how you can enjoy that trip without having to worry about losing money. It's 5:26 this Monday morning. You're watching WXII 12 News.